and the Edge at 11.
What is up? Welcome to another edition of the Sports Office. It is great to have you in tonight on a snowy day. You did it again.
Yes, a couple of inches today. It's pretty quiet now with some flurries left over, but the real story is the cold blast.
It's
coming late Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. It's going to be frigid. What do you want me to do?
You know what angered me today?
Yes.
I'm sitting there looking like this. I'm just looking outside, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and all I want to do is go out there and snow blow the driveway. And it just kept snowing.
It kept snowing.
It was bothering me because I wanted it to stop so I could go out there. Because I don't like it when I go out there and everything's clean and then all of a sudden it's still coming down and it's not so clean anymore. So can you make it stop a little quicker next time?
Okay.
Thank you. You have that power. James is here. What's going on?
Woo! Just getting ready.
What year is that basketball from?
I guess this is the one from
I think that
Hoosiers.
came with this building.
This is probably the one when Gene Hackman was like, this is the same rim back at Hoosiers in 1951.
It looks like that. That might be like a George Mikan.
I mean, George Mikan, good Lord.
That's old, yeah.
I mean, what, he averaged, like 4 points a game?
George Mikan, no, he was taller than everybody, so he
that's
scored
true,
a lot of points. He was a great player. He's like the first great center. By the way, tonight's show, and we appreciate this greatly, brought to you by the Michigan Army National Guard. Learn more at nationalguard.com/MI. So we appreciate them being a part of it.
Appreciate it all.
Big time.
Listen, we got a lot to talk about tonight. When this season began for the Pistons, we were kind of thinking back to that Knicks series last year. We thought Pistons, Knicks. We wanted to get to the Knicks.
The 1-2 seed,
and
maybe.
it still very well could happen.
I mean,
but
Knicks
I did want to talk about
the
the Knicks because if you look at them right now, they've lost 9 out of 11. They're not particularly good right now. The John Harbaugh story is big in New York. We always like checking on our guy, Aaron Glenn, who's with the Jets. And to do that, we bring in my friend and New York sports reporter, Rich Ackerman, who joins us now. Ack, what's up?
How are you?
Rich Ackerman.
One question, does that basketball have laces?
No, dude, this thing is so old. I mean, Wilson. It is a Wilson, which says something, but Wilson's been around forever. But this is like, I don't know, man. I'm thinking most of the people that played with this the first
fish
couple of
that
years
saved
are no
Pittsburgh.
longer
How about
with
that?
us. Yeah.
It's got a good bounce, though. I mean, that's a good ball.
There you go.
It still works.
Hey, Ack, listen, what's going on with your Knicks? We had so much fun. Listen, we haven't been relevant around here in a long time. We had so much fun in that playoff series last year, except for the ultimate outcome of it. And I think these two still might see each other again. But I look up and I see your Knicks have lost 9 out of 11. What's going on?
Well, I think everything was predictable. They are a franchise that does not handle posterity well. And, of course, what happens? They get to the conference finals after getting past the Pistons, and that series made me nervous as somebody who follows the Knicks. So I think the Pistons are an up-and-coming team if they haven't already arrived, because they're the number one team in the East right now. But, as far as the Knicks go, I think it's predictable. Look, they changed coaches. Tom Thibodeau, was a great defensive mind. He rode his guys hard. There's no question about that. But this guy gets results. And, of course, Madison Square Garden says they want more of a collaborative effort. They want more communication, whereas Thibodeau was a guy who kind of had his hand in everything, ran everything. I don't want to say he was secretive, but, he did things his way.
Yeah.
They wanted this more collaborative effort. They went out and they were turned down by 5 teams that didn't want to let their coaches interview for the head job. And, of course, they finally settled on Mike Brown, who's a nice guy and more media-friendly than Tom Thibodeau was. So everybody, of course, likes him. But look at the results. In just 3 of their games, they've allowed less than 100 points. What does that tell you right there?
That's not a Tom Thibodeau team, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. They can't stop the ball. No surprise there. Jalen Brunson, as great as he is not a great defender. But they also don't have a rim protector right now because Karl Anthony Towns is not that guy. Mitchell Robinson can only play a certain number of minutes right now because he's coming back from ankle injuries, missed the start of the season. So there's a lot of issues with this team defensively. OG Anunoby was banged up earlier in the season. Mikal Bridges underachieved, but and Josh Hart has been injured as well. So, look at all these things that they all add up. But I am particularly concerned about their effort on the defensive end. I think that is a big issue. And the other big issue offensively is, look, this is going back a couple of years now, they had Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. They traded both to Minnesota in the Towns deal. Both of those guys were able to create offense. Guys other than Brunson on this team are not able to create offense. So they've tried to do that a little more. Look, they've been scoring at a great pace, but they can't stop anybody. And as you know, in the defense in the playoffs, that's the most important thing.
I'm one of the guys that believes the NBA is better when New York is good. I just think, look, I grew up with the Bullet-Knick rivalry, and there was just something about, my dad used to take me to those games. There was something about those New York uniforms. Now I'm talking, Willis Reed, Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere, Erwin Rowe, Walt Frazier, those guys. But still, that resonates with me. And when New York is good, I think it's better for the league. Are there concerns in New York? Are people freaking out about this? Are they questioning Mike Brown? Who's feeling the heat right now?
Nobody really. Of course, Jalen Brunson called the players-only meeting after the game the other day. So it's still, everything is lukewarm around here. Nobody's pushing the panic button just yet. But I think, obviously, everybody is concerned about what's happened since winning the NBA Cup. And, whether they got a little too overconfident by that, or maybe that took a little too much out of them, and they have to, it's taking time to rally. I don't know what the answer is, but I think going into this season, I think they were an overrated team. I agree with you. The league's better when you talk about New York being good, or, whether you like the big city or you don't. I think either way that creates a dynamic where people get interested. However, going back to what you said about the old, Baltimore and Washington Bullets rivalry with the Knicks, the Knicks are still living off those days, and that's a long time ago now. There have been some good teams.
1973, that's it, right?
That's their last title. They came close twice in the 90s, but they're still pretty much living off that. I think there has been a little bit of a honeymoon period for Mike Brown as head coach, but I think it's starting to come to an end here. And obviously, he's going to be judged by the results in the playoffs.
Okay, so there's a lot of people talking about the Pistons and whether or not they make a move before the trade deadline. There's some people that say, hey, man, you're number one in the East. This might be the time to go for it. There's that school of thought. Then there's a school of thought that says you're already really good. Let this thing play out and let's see what you've got. Is there any thought in New York to make a move? Is there any thought to shake it up? And is Karl Anthony Towns sometimes the guy in the middle of those talks?
Absolutely. Considering his up and down season, he has not really meshed or has tried to figure out his role under Mike Brown. Leon Rose was the guy that brought him in, the team president and general manager. I'd be interested to see if he'd be so quick to deal him, but he's the guy, I think, contractually speaking. And, the fact that he might not fit the needs that they have right now. So I think he might be the guy that might be on the go. After that, I don't know. Maybe you see Josh Hart, but he's the guy that, is the heart and soul of this team. He does so much for them. He's not a star, but he's a guy that really has a lot of hustle plays. Those guys that you need when you want to have a winning and a championship team. Josh Hart won a championship at Villanova. He's been a big part of the team here, but I still think they're feeling the absence right now. Everybody was quick to kick Tom Thibodeau to the curb, but I think that there's a big issue there, and that guy has had results wherever he's gone.
Ack, let me ask you, listen, rivalries aren't always going both ways, and sometimes we think it's a rivalry, it's not a rivalry. Do the Knicks see the Pistons at all? Because here I think the Pistons do see the Knicks. Is there anything that resonates about Detroit in New York? And it's
Not
fair
yet,
to say no because we're new on the scene.
I don't want to say no. I think obviously last year's playoff series resonates and has them in the back of their mind. But I think right now they're just so concerned about themselves, they don't really have time to think about anything else. And to your point before about whether the Pistons should do anything, the East is wide open this year. And, only 4 games separate the number 3 team in the conference and number 2 team in the conference to number 9, I believe. So, there's a lot of wiggle room for teams to move up and down, and there's not a lot of margin for error. The Celtics, hats off to them. Their best player, one of the league's best players, is out for the year. They're currently second in the conference.
It's crazy. I didn't see that coming without Jason Tatum.
No, I did not, and I don't think anybody did. But so to answer your question, I don't think the Knicks really view the Pistons as a rival right now because I think they have other concerns. They got to be more, where their thoughts are right now. But I do think that there is a thought process where if they face them again, it could be a lot different this time.
Hey, let me ask you, is the belief in New York as I switch over to the NFL that the Giants won the lottery by getting John Harbaugh?
Without question. He was the guy. It's interesting because this did not start as an off-season in which many thought there would be a lot of good head coaching candidates, and it's ended with tons of them, many of whom are still out on the market, whether you like Mike McCarthy or not. The guy still has won a Super Bowl. Kevin Stefanski just went to Atlanta, but the guy the Giants needed more than anything was John Harbaugh. When he became available, he jumped to the top of the list, and there was a wide margin between number 1 and number 2. They needed somebody to come in here and change everything, change the foundation, have instant credibility, have a winning tradition, and he has all of those things. Kevin Stefanski was probably number 2 on that list, and I'm not big on winning and losing the press conference, but if you're introducing Kevin Stefanski after the Giants have won 7 games the last 2 years, and you're thinking, well, this guy just got fired in Cleveland. Yeah, he took them to the playoffs, which was nice, and he's a 2-time coach of the year in a short span in Cleveland, but he's not John Harbaugh. And John Harbaugh comes with a track record of stability, being solid in all 3 phases of the game, especially special teams, which were awful last year for the Giants. They got a good young quarterback who's just finished a promising rookie year. This was the guy they needed a sure thing. Jeff Hafley might have been nice or an assistant, but, the hot assistant hasn't worked for them.
You've got a young quarterback, as you mentioned, who might be good. You got a stud wide receiver, assuming he can come back off that injury. You got defensive linemen that can rush the passer. I mean, is there a pathway for New York to be good pretty quickly with an adult in the room there as head coach?
I think there is. Just how good. I don't think you could think Mike Vrabel and the Patriots this year, unless they again, are very.
Unless Jackson Dart becomes Drake May.
Drake May, yes. And a lot of things broke very well for the Patriots this year. They did spend their money wisely in free agency. They had some good draft picks. Will Campbell, their first round pick, worked out very well. So there is somewhat of a pathway, but I think it will be interesting because they have good pass rushers. They have a great left tackle, but he's got to be healthy in Andrew Thomas. But the back end of the defense after the line was terrible. That needs a lot of work. The line still is a work in progress, although it was improved. You hope Neighbors comes back. They do need a more dependable tight end. Cam Scatterboot, who had a promising rookie season until it was cut short by injury, he returns. You hope if he's at full strength and does what he did last year, then that's good. So I think there's definitely going to be an improvement. You're also going to get you should get an impact player at number 5 in the draft as well. But there's still a lot of holes there that need to be filled right now.
Speaking of holes, our guy AG's got one at quarterback with the New York Jets. And if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win in this league. And if you don't win in this league, you're not going to survive. So the question is, how does Aaron Glenn survive in New York with the Jets? We were talking about it today on the phone. They have the number 2 pick. There's no quarterback sitting there at number 2. So you're looking at trying to figure this thing out, maybe by trading for one or some other way. But if he's got any shot at seeing year 3, I would say, as a head coach in New York with the Jets, they got to find something or somebody there.
Yeah, the thing that doesn't bode well for him right now is the way they finished this season. The last quarter was not very good at all. They were just not competitive at all. And you have a feeling that if they run it back the same way, that same thing maybe and probably seeps in a little earlier next year, which is not good. Being the optimist, the one thing they do have is a very young and promising offensive line. I'm not going to say if they don't find a quarterback this year, things are going to go well. But I think they know how far they are. That obviously, they got a lot of draft picks in these next 2 drafts. So I don't think you can overdraft a quarterback, but you obviously need one. And that was the big thing that John Harbaugh talked about in his opening press conference with the Giants. The team is built around the quarterback. The Jets don't have that guy. I think the one thing that helps Aaron Glenn is, Woody Johnson loves him. He's very early into a long-term deal, and they know how bad they are with a lot of draft picks.
Good stuff, my man. Always good catching up with you. I hope we get to see the Knicks again because I think that's good for basketball, too. It was a nice series last year.
I think it'll turn out a little different this year.
We'll see. There's a school of thought that if Isaiah Stewart had been healthy last year, it might have turned out different last year. But you know what? It's fun.
Question.
Both those teams are hard-nosed, and it's fun when they get together. So we wanted to check in on you, my man.
Absolutely.
Good seeing
you, Let's hope we see that series again.
Amen. So. Rich Ackerman joining us right there from New York. And I would love to see the Knicks and Pistons again.
I mean, Eastern Conference Finals, I still think it's an option.
I absolutely do.
Because it's either Boston, New York, or Detroit.
They end up. Yeah. And they're saying Tatum will come back.
So,
and he's going to play at some point for Boston this year.
Well, you're a basketball guy. Name another team in the East that looks okay.
I mean, right now, Cleveland's going to get healthy at some point, and you figure they're going to start playing better.
Right.
I mean, because at the beginning of the year, you would have said Cleveland and you would have said New York. Mm-hmm. And obviously, Indiana just...
Right.
With Halliburton going down, just brutal.
I think it's only 3 or 4 teams, so Detroit, New York could definitely.
As Rich said, it's wide open.
Absolutely.
Why not the Pistons? Zebo's back. We got the house back, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't had it in a while. Good to see you, my man. Take us to break here. Sports Office coming back in just a moment. Hit that Zoom room. Hit that link. We want to see what you have to say tonight. Join the show. Coming up next. Yes, sir. House band. Z setting the tone. Hey, we got some folks in the Zoom room. If you're in there, you got to turn your cameras on if you want to join the show. I see John Pork's got his camera on. He joins us now. Now, you got to tell me, is that the real name? John Pork?
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're great, man. It's great to have you here. Is that a real name or is that your Zoom name?
Well, my friends, they call me John Porks.
All
But
right.
like my real name's John Hammond, but they call
Well,
me
it's
John
great to
Pork.
have you here, man.
Wow.
Thank you.
What's the setup back there? I like that.
So
got
I'm
it,
with my friend. It's his birthday. We were out to eat, but I saw on the TV. I just had to join in,
We appreciate you doing
Happy
that. Whose
birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Whose birthday?
Darion, wish Darion a happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Great to have you guys here. So, what was the birthday meal?
He had crab legs.
Ooh,
He had some
nice.
crab legs.
Wow.
Perfect.
Nice.
some
Look at you
hibachi.
guys out on the town.
Wow.
We appreciate that. You joining us from a restaurant?
Yeah, we're in a restaurant right now.
It's even better. It's even better. All right, what's on your mind?
They having a
Anything?
good night.
Are you- what's
As soon as
that?
they have, are you guys having a good night so far?
We're having a great
yeah,
night.
great
We're
time,
not
great
eating
time.
crab
Bless you,
legs,
man.
but we're having a
Bless
great night.
Bless you so much.
That's
Bless you.
awesome, man. Well, listen.
Hey, I hope y'all having a good year so far. Bless
Well,
you.
it was
Yeah.
a great year. We appreciate it. Happy birthday to our gentleman over there. You guys
Darion.
enjoy it. Enjoy the crab legs.
Like,
Good to see you. All right, man. Thanks for joining us. Hit us back sometime, okay?
We will. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Top
All right,
job.
John joining us right
Wow.
there. That's good stuff. You could go for some crab legs. You're an East Coast guy.
Well, yeah. I like all of it. The steamed crabs, the shrimp. I do it all.
So the question was, we were sitting here during the break, and we
Uh-oh.
look up at TMZ, and Martha Stewart,
Yeah.
is she selling lingerie?
Well, I don't know, but she had some skin showing, and I met Martha Stewart years ago.
Really?
I did,
Was
here
it
in
as
this building.
memorable for her as it was for you?
Definitely not. She's very tall.
Okay.
Like surprisingly tall. But she was, promoting a book or something. This was
All right.
probably 15 years ago.
Post
And-
jail.
Yeah. And she came in and she was flying on a Learjet back to New York with her entourage. And she's like, I need to speak to the weatherman. So they brought her back to my office. And in the door comes Martha Stewart. She was very nice, very professional.
That's awesome.
Very attractive. I'm telling you.
You know who I met here?
Uh-oh.
That made like 13-year-old Dan really happy? Marie Osmond.
Oh.
Remember they had that
old
show
school.
on Fox?
Wow.
And she came in here. It
Wow.
was her and Donnie came in here. And Donnie's fine. But Marie, like when I was a younger man.
But
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then she left. And then she came back all panicked because she lost her wedding ring. No. Yeah, she's running around the studio looking for it. She's here at Fox 2 looking for her wedding ring. And they finally found it. It was like wedged in the seat of the limo.
Wow.
They finally found it. But yeah, you
I
never
don't
know
have
who's
no
You never
around
know.
with
You
these
never
doors.
know. That's true.
Yeah, it's cool. There's people that stop in here all the time. And I was like, that's Marie Osmond.
You know, last summer, and my dad was so happy. Dee Snider.
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
I walked up to him.
wow.
I said, "My dad's a huge hard rock guy, and I know Twisted Sister, and he nice guy."
That's cool. You know who I interviewed before a Pistons game?
Who's that?
Eddie Money. He
Oh,
used to,
awesome.
the late Eddie,
Eddie
Money.
Money.
He used to open up DTE every year.
Every
He
year
was
in
the first
Detroit.
He was so, you always worry when you interview these guys or you meet them that they're not going to be what you hope they are.
Right.
He was the coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
And he was talking basketball and talking music and couldn't have been nicer. And you're sitting there talking to him before you go on and things like that. And it was just like everything that, again, we'll go back to 13-year-old me listening to Casey Kasem introduce an Eddie Money song.
2 tickets to
Wanted
paradise.
Eddie Money to be, he was exactly that.
Wow.
So it's cool when you meet those people and they
Yeah.
leave that kind of impression on you, because sometimes you meet them and they're not exactly what you want them to be, and maybe I'm not what they want me to be.
We
but-
do that list, but we don't have the time. So
Exactly.
we won't say who were the bad people we met because we don't have the time.
We'll
so.
think about it during the break.
Oh, okay, we'll
I'll see if
think
I
about
can
it.
come up with anybody.
Okay.
Oh, Canner will know one. Canner, who was one that I interviewed that we didn't exactly love?
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson.
What? Reggie
Tell that
Jackson.
story. You got to tell that story after the
We'll
break.
take a
This
break.
was
We'll,
after he tried to kill the queen.
yeah. We'll take a break.
Reggie
Come right back. Hey, if you're in the Zoom room, turn on your cameras. If you're not, all you got to do is hit that meeting number or click on that link. Sports Office, more after this. All right, Zebo. Hey, final minute of the show here. I'll tell you the Reggie Jackson story.
Yeah,
So the All-Star
Reggie
Game's
Jackson.
in Detroit. What year was that, Cantor? 2005?
You got it.
All-Star Game was in Detroit 2005, so everybody's talking about Reggie Jackson's home run at Tiger Stadium in 1971 off the Light Tower. So Reggie's here, and he's doing the rounds, doing the interviews, and he sits down on our set. He looks the other way, never looked at me. We're doing the run up to the interview, and I'm trying to chat him up. Won't speak. Won't speak at all. They're in my ear back in the control room going, he's not talking to you. I'm you're right. We get to the interview, and he still barely would speak above a whisper. So it was there's a childhood hero that you met that it was that was less than thrilling. He had nothing to do with the interview, but we appreciated his time. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sports Office. Luderman, it's going to be cold.
Cold's coming.
Partly cloudy. Have a great night.